Britain's meanwhile facing a border crisis like the one we in Australia had back in the Rudd and Gillard governments. You've got now up to 1,000 boat people a day sailing to Britain, almost all from France, with on occasion French police on the beach just looking on, not even bothering to stop them. Now, there have already been 23,000 illegal immigrants land this year by boat, and the numbers are now growing exponentially. Why is this suddenly happening, and what is Britain doing about it?
Well, I think you've answered your own question in a way, because, you described the police in France looking on as this happens and essentially given a green light in some ways to these treks across the English Channel. And then there's not much being done on the UK side either. And in fact, the outgoing head of the border force in the UK, a man called Paul Lincoln, he did a speech the other day in which he referred to bloody borders. He said, bloody borders are a pain in the arse. Essentially, what he was saying is even he can't be bothered with looking out for borders, with protecting borders. And this is the guy who was the head of the UK border force, who thinks borders are a pain in the neck. So this is the kind of attitude we face these days. We face authorities who are not really interested in protecting their borders and not really interested in protecting the nation and having legal forms of immigration. So there's a big problem here, which I think ends up giving a green light to these migrants to cross the channel, and often that ends in tragedy.
Do you think there's any element, Brendan, just thinking aloud here, of France using the illegal immigrants to punish Britain for leaving the EU or having a dispute over fishing rights around some of the Channel Islands?
Well, the tensions between the UK and France are very high at the moment. And one of the tense points is the immigration question. Our Home Secretary, Priti Patel, has gone to France many times to try and organise for them to stop allowing people to leave France and head for the UK, and that has not come to fruition. But one of the things that the EU countries really dislike about the UK, of course, is Brexit and the fact that we opted out of freedom of movement in the European Union. So I wouldn't be surprised if they at least thought it was quite funny that this was happening. But of course, it's not funny. It's incredibly serious, and we need to get a handle on it.
Brendan, I'm almost out of time, but the climate summit in Glasgow finally finished. What amazed me all through this was to see Britain's Prime Minister, allegedly Conservative, Boris Johnson, demanding the summit end coal, and he went greener than Labor, is putting pressure on Australia to cut our emissions even harder, acting more green than green. How's that actually worked for him in the polls?
Not very well. His polls have gone down very badly over the past week as a result of sleaze scandals and probably COP as well, I think. Boris is now indistinguishable from Greta Thunberg. Both of them attacked the Industrial Revolution at COP26. And this is a man who used to be a climate skeptic, who used to be very skeptical of climate change alarmism, and now he's sold his soul to the green outlook. I think it's very depressing, and his supporters won't like it.
Well, the same sort of thing might be happening to Scott Morrison a bit. I don't think he's got a bounce from promising net zero, but who knows. Brendan O'Neill, thank you so much indeed for your time.